My teacher almost intentionally culled me, so I'm returning the favor. My art teacher made me consume modeling clay mixed with paint because she believed I was faking my documented sensory processing disorder. When I was 14, I'd been diagnosed with severe sensory processing disorder, which meant certain textures could trigger full-body panic attacks and vomiting. Not the mild discomfort most people imagine, but the kind that sends you into complete neurological overload, where your brain literally cannot process the sensation and your body goes into emergency shutdown mode. My therapist had worked with me for years developing coping strategies, and the school had extensive documentation, including a detailed accommodation plan that specified I could use alternative materials during art projects. But Ms. Henderson was convinced that modern psychology was just enabling weakness in her students, and she took personal offense to any student who dared request modifications to her sacred curriculum. She would regularly announce to the class that back in her day, kids just dealt with things and didn't need special treatment for every little discomfort. During our sculpture unit, she insisted everyone work with a specific type of oil-based clay that had this horrific, sticky, gritty texture that immediately triggered my condition. When I politely requested to use the air-dry alternative that the occupational therapist had approved, she laughed in front of 30 students and declared that I was just being dramatic for attention. Several kids started recording on their phones as she walked over to my desk with a container of the wet clay mixed with acrylic paint that she'd been using for demonstrations. The mixture looked toxic with swirls of cadmium red and Prussian blue bleeding through the gray base